Knowing how to handle sudden wealth is not always easy.
And that's why many wills are set up with trusts to control and protect how inherited money can be accessed. Here to tell us about trusts are attorneys Michael Smith and Richard Barid of Smith Barid LLC. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, people know if you want your money to go, to your children or to certain people, you leave it in your will. But a trust is a completely different thing.
That's right. A trust is really a will substitute. It's something that exists right now. And at the end of the day, it's a way to title your assets in such a way that they are controlled better in the event of your incapacity, or ultimately when you pass away, so that they're passed on to your kids and your other loved ones in a controlled way, the way you want it to be, so that that wealth benefits them as opposed to, well, it can really destroy lives if you pass it on the wrong way, all in one lump sum. You have to be very careful about the way you go about doing that.
We think of a trust as like a tube of toothpaste. And you can squirt all the toothpaste out at one time, but you're not going to be able to put it back in the tube. If you keep it in that tube and you squeeze out a little bit at a time, then it's going to last a lot longer. So that's kind of one way to think of a trust.
Because managing money is certainly a skill.
Absolutely right. And there are going to be something like over the next 5 years, by the time we get to 2017, something along the lines of $12 trillion will have passed to the baby boomer generation at a median amount of, I think, about $64,000 per person who's inheriting. So there are some very large amounts of money that are going to be coming to folks. And if you're not a person who is used to dealing with a chunk of money, it can really be a good thing to have some guidance from the people who've left it to you.
Where do you get on that list?
Sign up today.
That will be coming to people. What are about tax issues? Do trusts aid people with tax issues?
Well, they can. Certainly, you can plan for the estate tax using trusts. Right now, the exemption is $5 million, the estate tax exemption, which means that you can pass up to $5 million to anyone you want to without any estate tax applying. And we also have a new concept that came in 2010 called portability, which means that a spouse can use the deceased spouse's estate tax exemption. So for a married couple, effectively, right now the exemption is $10 million. Now the interesting thing is that the way the law was drafted, it will sunset along with the other Bush tax provisions at the end of this year. So come December 31st, the estate tax will go back down, the exemption will go back down to $1 million and a 55% tax rate. We anticipate something's going to happen, but who knows,
And these are also important because I guess you'd call them predators are out there, and it protects people who come into money against themselves, but also against these people that are looking to take that money away.
That's exactly right. Depending on the way a will is drafted, a will is generally a public document because when you file a probate, that's a court case, and our courts have open records unless the court decides to seal them. So it is possible that someone who knows what they're doing, especially as we're getting into the cyber age and court records are coming online, for someone to look at that file and get a good idea of what your heirs might be inheriting. If you use a trust, a revocable living trust, to do your planning, that's a private document. And so the amounts that you're passing on, how that is to be controlled, who gets what, and who's in charge of it is all contained within a private document that in most cases is not going to be a public record. So you can afford those heirs some privacy and protect them from those predators who might come in.
And it's a way for you to be very specific. I'm guessing that, if you've made this much money, you've had control of your life up to that point, you maybe want to continue to control it, so you set the parameters of how and when this money will be used. Precisely,
and you can incentivize your beneficiaries. You can do things like encourage them to go to college. You can encourage them to work so that they don't kind of sit back and live off of the trust. There are many ways that you can incentivize your beneficiaries with the trust. There are two important things about it, though. You can create problems with trust. And so one of the important things, the most important thing, I think, is to communicate with your family about what your wishes are and how you want the trust to be handled. And the second piece is that it's important in the drafting process that the trust be made as flexible as possible, because things change over time. We just talked about the estate taxes changing all the time. But people's lives change also.
Right.
And it's important that you have that flexibility for the trustee to be able to adjust the trust as time goes by.
They're telling us we have to go. One more question. Why is it important, though, for someone to set this all up and find out all the information from people who do this, not just, you know, in general, an attorney, but a trust attorney?
Sure, because you want someone who has expertise in the area. It's a highly technical area of the law. I mean, could you fix your own car? Sure. Should you? Well, when you get 10 miles down the road, you'll find out.
You fix
whether
it,
or
just
not.
don't drive it after you do
That's
it.
right. And for our clients, by the time their families are finding out they've done the wrong thing, it can be too late.
And it's not something you want to wait either. You want to find out about this, you know, early on and get your
Right,
plans.
because you never know what's going to
That's
happen.
right. That's right. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank
you.
Thanks for having us.
I'll be right back.
There.
You've got everything
I
on
got it
now.
all. I got
Wings,
the
cape.
wings, the cape. I'm the superhero fairy.
And a well-armed one, apparently.
Dream big. Read this summer. Have a good day.